We'll start first by looking at the general layout and format of the letter, which includes the font and just how the letter is set up. Okay, now the first thing that caught my attention is the use of several different size fonts and also seven different color fonts. And I don't know how effective this would be. As a rule of thumb, you do not want to use more than 3 different types of fonts. Otherwise, after a while, it becomes too confusing. And it's the same effect of trying to emphasize any section of your letter, but then if you bold and underline and make every next letter or next word a different color, then nothing really stands out. Okay, so for example here we have a bold font, okay, of one size, another I guess the same font of a different size, then a different color and a different font size and so forth. And even though it might give the idea of, okay, this is about a recipe book, and therefore it's about food, it should be pretty, it should look festive and so forth, you do not want that idea to override your message coming across. You do not want anything to stand in the way of your message. And I think that's what is done in this case. Okay, and so I would kind of try to go with one size font and the Courier 12 for a letter. I think this is a letter that would be mailed and not posted online. So the Courier 12-point font would work much better. And of course, your headline would be of a larger font, and if possible, bold letters. Okay, so here I would, rather than try to make this look like a work of art, you want to try to make it as much as possible to look like a letter that somebody can actually read and take and consider seriously. Okay. Okay. Now let's scroll through and see. Okay, what do we have here? Okay. Okay, you start with a raised font. That's good. Okay. Okay, I'll ignore these because I know these are printed simply because of the conversion into the PDF format. Okay, and also what you want as well to, I'm not sure if you're going to actually keep this at the bottom of each page, but what you want to as well to, and I'm assuming again that this is not a letter that's going to be posted online, but it's a letter that's going to be mailed out. What you want as well as much as possible is that you either place continue onto the next page here, down here, or you always want to end one page with in the middle of a sentence. So you force the person to turn the page in order to complete the thought, in order to complete the sentence. Okay. So for example, here I'd write, after this, I'd worked at Baking 5 Industries before starting on, then I'll go blank, 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 or dot, 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 ellipsis. So they are forced to go on to the next page, the continuing page. Okay, we're looking at format and layout. Format and layout. Okay, I referred to that already. Different colors. Okay, you want the these are testimonials to stand out in a Johnson box. Okay, that's fine. Okay, click here to continue. Again, I don't know. I guess this would apply to a website. Okay, cut your preparation time. Okay. Okay, so basically I think here we're looking at the font. Okay, you have your bullet points here. Again, we're just scrolling through looking at the format. You have good space between each line. You do not have any dense text or long paragraphs, so that's good. Make the letter as much as you want to make the letter as easy to read as possible. Okay, is this another? Okay, is this your guarantee? Okay, in a different setting as well too. Okay, and that's it. And you come to your order. Okay, you have your order page, your response card. Okay, signature, and as well you want to include a PS. Okay, the PS is one of the most red section of a sales letter, so you do not want to leave out the PS at all. You can use the PS to indicate, to re-emphasize your guarantee. You can also use the PS to talk about a special bonus that was not mentioned, a surprise bonus that was mentioned in the body of the letter. Okay, so let's take it from the top. Okay, get rid of this guy. Okay, let's take it from the top now. And now we're going to actually critique the content of the letter itself. Okay, first let's look at the pre-headline and your pre-headline and your headline. Arm yourself with over 200 wholesale French baking recipes plus 79 vegan and diabetic recipes to pamper their taste buds with a baking touch suitable for all events. Okay, very good. You're actually telling the person what they're actually going to get. So you're stressing the benefit. Okay, you're stressing the benefit right away in your pre-head and your head. Except here, they kind of make the message a little bit ambiguous, because you're addressing me here and saying arm yourself with, okay, but then yourself then runs into there. Okay, so there's a conflict here in terms of the pronouns. Okay, so arm yourself with 200 wholesome French baking recipes plus 79 vegan and diabetic recipes to pamper, I would say, your, okay, because that goes with yourself, to pamper your taste buds with baking touch suitable for important events. Okay, so here you're transitioning from, you're arming yourself, and I guess you're cooking for someone else, so it goes to there. But except when you read them both together, it's, since you're continuing here the thought, okay, there's a conflict here, okay, and you kind of make the person pause for a little while, and that's what you don't want to do. You say there yourself. Okay, so I would change this here. Okay, baking French. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at the actual content of the headline itself. Okay, pamper their taste buds with a baking touch suitable for important events. A good choice of words here. Pamper, you're referring to taste, you're appealing to taste buds. But here, a baking touch. The difference, how do you relate taste buds to a baking touch? And I guess maybe touch is what really stands out here. So, you pamper the person's taste bud with a baking touch. Okay, touch is not really associated with baking. Baking is more associated with sight and taste and smell. So you kind of there's a kind of conflict in the senses here. Okay, of course, pamper is normally associated with touch, but it gives you the sense of something that is soft anyway. So there's not much of a conflict here, but pamper their taste buds with baking touch. Okay, I would choose a different word here for the taste bud with baking delicacy, or even maybe change baking here to something else, but you want to keep the thought on taste, okay, on the taste buds, something that is soft and succulent, and there are so many different words that you can use that's associated with baking. And speaking of vocabulary as well, if you're writing for recipes, you basically have to get into a whole language of taste, and I would recommend very much words that sell, and in fact, in words that sell here on the pleasure and satisfaction, I just pulled this out, and I could get some examples. For example, a delight to the eye, satisfies your need for just skipping through, satisfies your hunger, hits the spot, taste the difference, will make you feel good all over. Just looking at some words that we refer to taste: deeply satisfying, gratifying, delightful. your utmost enjoyment, your heart's content, you'll delight in, okay? And there are just some words and vocabulary that you have to get into when you're talking about food, and you have to sprinkle them all over your letter. Okay, suitable for important events. Okay, dear reader, how do you like, okay, here it's always good to use contraction because it makes it conversational. But one of the exercises that you have to do when you write a sales letter is actually read the sales letter aloud. And if you're saying something that is a kind of a tongue twister, it means that you'll also cause the person to hesitate at that point. Okay, so how did you like to? Okay, if you try to say that, how did you like to? Okay, it's kind of tongue twister. So even though the use of contraction is good because you comes right afterwards, it makes it very difficult to say. So I would kind of change this as well too. Okay, how would you like to? Okay, rather than how do you like to always? Okay, determine. Okay, I'm not sure why this is in capital D here. Okay, always you want to emphasize, but then it's a different letter here. Okay, I've already mentioned that, so I won't really go over that again. Okay, how would you like to always determine how your baking turns out? Okay, good. Just a good start in terms of the idea, because you're referring to a promise. Okay, and you're making a big promise and a benefit. This was something Martha prayed for one afternoon, but that prayer wasn't answered. Instead, she got a mighty blow to her self-esteem. That self-lifting. Okay, here, this one sentence that left her stooping over with shame for several months. Okay, here's her bittersweet story. Okay, a good use of story for the introduction here. Here's her bittersweet story. The afternoon passing quickly like butter sizzling down a puddle of fat in an overheat frying pan. Okay, good use of metaphor. You're keeping the food imagery. It was almost time for my visitor to pull up the driveway, walk up the pathway, and ring that doorbell. Here's her bittersweet story. Okay, maybe add like in her own words. I wasn't prepared for a change of perspective, a change of person, because you're going now here from the third person now to the first person. Okay, so kind of prepare me for this transition. In other words, then prepare me for the fact that this is Martha that is telling her story. Okay. The baking wasn't half done yet, and gosh, what if what comes out of the oven wasn't the bargain, even though I followed the recipe to the letter? What happened next seemed like a never-ending horror movie running in slow motion. The visitor came, got well seated, and waited to be pampered as usual. Minutes went by, and it was time to serve them. Okay, be careful of the use of exclamation marks. Sometimes they're not really needed. You really want to use exclamation marks when it's really needed. When there's an exclamation, there is something of wonder, surprise, shock. Okay, but here I'll go easy on the use of exclamation marks. So the minutes went by, and it was time to serve them. But all I could offer was some juice. I didn't have anything baked to offer them. Nothing. Everything got burnt except for some half-baked pastries. Some time later, they were making ready. Some time later again, okay, be careful here. Some time later, then they were making ready to leave. Their disappointed look was unbearable. But what could I do? And no doubt they smelled the burnt pastries. Okay, now just let me refer here to a little bit of, in terms of writing and not just copywriting alone. But normally, when you're speaking of something that, when you want to slow down time, for someone who is doing a movie, they can actually literally slow down time by showing the movie in slow motion, but you cannot really determine how fast someone reads your work. So when you want to indicate slow movement, you often write in long sentences. And when you want to indicate fast, exciting, up-tempo movement, then you write in short sentences. Okay, so here you've used a lot of short sentences, but the idea that you're trying to give is that this was something that was really embarrassing for Martha. This was something that lasted longer than you wanted it to last. This was something that was really painful, and therefore, in order to show the pain, You really want to drag out the time. So you want to use long sentences. You want to use ellipses as you've done here. Okay, that's good. You've used ellipses here. Okay, but short sentences give a sense of something that moves by quickly. So the syntactical structure of your sentences and the length of your sentences actually work against the story that you're actually telling. Okay, so you're trying to indicate that time moved by slowly, but yet the sentences are short, which would indicate that the time went by quickly. Okay, so that's a place here as well too, where you want to use long sentences instead of short sentences. Okay, we continue on. It was unbearable, but what I could do, no doubt they smell those burnt pastries. I watched them leave one by one on the way to their cars. I could still hear the chatting. Okay, there's some indication here. Okay, even though you don't really want to overuse the ellipsis. I could still hear them chatting and giggling in the distance. And here again, be careful for, okay, this is not really an exclamation. Okay, this is something sad. So you don't want to indicate, an exclamation is something like, you don't want to indicate a high-pitched, loud voice. But here, this is something sad, okay? This is something mournful. So an exclamation mark again, here again, kind of work against you. Never found out why. I could only imagine. Okay, so I guess it's I never found out why. I could only imagine why they honked as they were leaving the driveway. Something started eating away at my self-worth. Just then, something hit me. Okay, be careful here. In copywriting, you want to be as specific as possible. Okay, so what is this something? Is it a feeling? Is it an emptiness inside? Okay, rather than saying that something started eating on me, except that you're trying to build suspense here. Say what that something is, or at least indicate the nature of it, rather than say something. And here, okay, then you use again something here again. Again, I say, except you're trying to build suspense where you do not want the person to know what that something is. It's best to be explicit. Okay, it's best to be as clear as possible and say a name, at least give it the nature of that something. You know, if it is a feeling, annoying, a headache, something like a headache, information. Okay, kind of indicate what that something is. Okay. All this time, me, a woman at age 27 and can't bake. Oh, it's a kind of an awkward statement here. All this time, me, a woman, I think, all this time. Okay, this is not very clear. This needs some clarification here. I guess she's kind of mulling over in her head the fact that, you know, she is 27 years old and yet she cannot bake. Okay, but that's the idea, but it is not very explicit here. An age when a young woman should know her way around the kitchen. Okay, again, exclamation mark. An area naturally seen as simply a woman's place. A man may be excused, but a young woman. You see, normally mother used to do all the baking, and oftentimes she'd tell me, learn to bake some things, young lady, but I kept ignoring her. So, as an eagle training her young high in the sky, okay, would suddenly let her young go. Mother, let me go to face the thing. Okay, here, okay, you're speaking about your mother. You're speaking about an embarrassing situation. But an eagle is often associated with power, dominance, someone who is on top of her game, okay, the imagery, okay, that's associated, and the thought that associated with the eagle is more winning than losing. And here she's talking about losing. So I would not use the eagle in this case. Okay, you know, the eagle, and you all see is high in the sky. Okay, an eagle is a symbol of power and dominance and success. And here she's speaking about basically feeling sad and feeling as though she has failed. Okay, so I wouldn't use the eagle imagery. Okay, you can use an imagery, but I'll use another imagery rather than the eagle. But unlike the eagle who would grab her young just before it hit the ground in love, mother, let me rock the bottom, smash my face, bruise my knees and elbows. Need I say more? That came in the form of her leaving town one day. And guess what day that was? The very day the visitors had come over expecting to be pampered as usual. Okay, be careful of using the same word over and over again. I think this is the third time you have used it. Okay, when you use a word several times, it kind of loses its effect after a while. Okay, find another synonym that you can use here. The thought of that rock bottom splash made me suddenly promise never to bake again, regardless of who was coming over, family, friend, or foe. Martha had made that promise to herself. What she didn't realize was, okay, here again, prepare me for the transition. Okay, here you're now switching now from Martha's story, which is a first person, back to a third person. But I'm not prepared for it. Okay, it comes to me like almost like a surprise. This is kind of a part of the slippery slide that Joe Sugarman refers to. And that's the whole idea of when you're basically one stage of editing your sales letter is to look at the transition that go between your paragraphs, make sure that they're logical and make sure that they're connected. Okay, so you make the connection as smooth as possible. Otherwise, it'll be like being in driving on a bumpy road. Okay, you kind of not know what to expect. So you want to make the transition as smooth as possible, regardless of who's coming over, family or friend or foe. Martha had made that promise to herself and she didn't realize. So kind of indicate to me here that now Martha's story is over, and now you're changing voice here. Okay, Martha made the promise to herself. Then was that Martha had made that promise to herself. What she didn't realize then was that be careful of that. Not a big deal, but always look through your letter and see cases where you've used that. If you can take that out, okay, if you can cross out that and it doesn't change the sense of the meaning of the sentence, do that. And I just used that. Okay, in the minds of many, even some family members, they think of women who can't bake well, lacking something basic yet important, and that's the young lady's undeveloped baking skills. And what's worse, even if asked, some family or friends may never tell the woman with the flaw about herself, but they are thinking it. Martha's family did. She was told later she was told, okay, be careful of the passive voice. The passive voice kind of make your letter seem a little legal, wooden, academic, which whenever you prefer. And you want to make this as first person as possible. Okay, so be very careful of the passive voice. Was told, had said. She needn't be a pro, but she at least needs to know certain things to get by. Here again, okay, not be very specific again. Certain things to get by. Indicate what they are. She need to have baking skills. Okay, she need to have, good recipes. So say what they are rather than saying certain things. But a woman needs that and more, plus see again here, that more, that where I come in to help you bake in touch. And here's where I come in to help you arm yourself with a baking touch, that will always enable you to instead of enable, let. Again, enable is more wooden, let. To let you determine, that would always let you determine how your baking will be when it comes out of your home oven, to get the satisfaction of seeing family, friends, and visitors raising their eyebrows, licking their sticky fingers, and wiping their plates clean, enjoying the last bites of hot, crispy, homemade bacon. Okay, very good. Here, very good word picture built there. Now you might be wondering who I am. You might be wondering who I am. Well, I was just about to tell you. Okay, I'm Clarence Furlow, a native of France, and I'm a professional chef. I studied 5 years in France at the Chateau College of France. After this, um, I worked. I worked at 5 baking industries before starting my own 17 years ago. Okay, you're building credibility for the owner. Today, I'm the owner of 3 successful businesses, 2 bakeries, and a wholesale business which sells baking equipment and baking products. I'm also a gifted teacher with a natural passion to be your personal. I think there should be a line just like here. Baking teacher. That's something. There's something else. The Martha in the storyline. The Martha in the story was me. Okay. Yes, that was me who survived the rock bottom splash. And while recovering from that near-death situation, 2 passions budded and bloomed in me. One happened already, a growing need to become a professional baker. The other, a burning desire to help you become excellent at baking. And we can make this happen through my baking book, entitled Martha, Quickly Lend Me a Hand with This One. I'll talk to you from the pages. We'll walk through each stage and turn recipes into mouth-watering pastries. Okay. Those that make you step backward to take. Those that make you step backward. It's a little unclear. To take a second gaze through the glass showcase at the pastries. Okay. It's not very clear here, maybe because of the break. Referring to these pastries. The supermarket or the bakery, but can't get your hands on them unless you pay their value, their cost. Okay, that make you step backwards and take. Okay, the easy to understand illustrations, colored pictures, big print, easy for reading, get you past, but make sure you're okay. Here, instead of describing what the book looks like, maybe it's good to give a picture. Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so rather than saying what the book looks like, you can actually give a picture of the book. Support a tailor you on your own. In fact, after 17 days, notice yourself bubbling with creative ideas you can call your own. And naturally so, you see, after you start becoming excellent in baking in 17 days, you can customize your flavored ingredients. These customized ideas will be your secret and recipe. That's how you'll be able to wow folks with pastries. You'll be able to wow folks with pastries, cakes, cookies, and different kinds of bread. You can call your own. They'll be amazed at those flavors coming from your ordinary home oven. Flavors normally expected to come through the kitchen vents at top bakeries. Take note, the count of this new edition is running low fast. Word is getting out. Women of different races are securing different races. I'm not sure why this is mentioned. Their copies want to see how their lives are changing. Click here to run a 2-minute video. Okay, so I guess this is an online letter. Okay, one video which you don't accept to. Fresh testimonials reflecting how you'll be soon coming. Okay. Okay, testimonials. Okay, you pull out promise you won't laugh at this one. Okay, for testimonials, it's best to read the testimonial itself and kind of pull out a line or 2 words that will kind of summarize the testimonial and normally would illustrate the benefit that you're promising from the product. So in this case, you want to pull out a line from the testimonial that indicate that the person actually received what the product is actually delivering. Okay, let me just look at one example and for illustration. My family loves to celebrate, and I have for years a dog dash members who think would ask me to bake something for an upcoming event. It's a good thing they never did, but I always had that scare at the upcoming event. That was then. But now with Martha's book, I'm volunteering. Okay, so this is a line that you can actually use as a headline. Okay, to see it doesn't have to be verbatim, except it's actually saying directly what you want to say. But it's indicating now with Martha's baking book, I'm now volunteering to bake. Okay, with Martha's baking book, I feel armed, I feel confident. Okay, so here as well too. Okay, that will be the use that you'll make of these headlines. So pull out something from the testimonial that is actually illustrating the success that someone has from using this baking book. And so even if the person doesn't read the entire testimonial, they will be able to look at the headline and kind of get an idea of what the testimonial is all about. And that would actually putting out the headline would actually encourage the person to read the rest of the testimonial. Okay. Get results like these, folks. Get results like these, folks. It's just to get that baking touch to make fun. Speaking of time, depending on what you're baking, you can cut your preparation time 30, 40, 50%. That's right. The preparation time often from start to finish before baking. Okay, now the placement of the testimonials is often best after you have kind of explained what the product is in a little bit more detail. And so I would say that the testimonials here have come a little prematurely. Now, there are basically different ways in which you can place testimonials. One, you can place all your testimonials at the very end. Okay, so in other words, then the testimonial is not used inside the letter at all. You can use the testimonials like in a column that runs along with the sales letter. Again, it doesn't interfere with the flow of the sales letter, and therefore it doesn't really have to be contextual. But normally when you place your testimonials in the flow of the sales letter itself, you want the testimonials to be contextual. In other words, then, if you're saying that this baking book would make you expert baker overnight, then you want a testimonials right then and there that says, I couldn't bake, and then I used this book, and now I could bake overnight. Okay, of course I'm exaggerating, but you get the essence. You want the testimonial to be saying the same thing that you're saying in that section of the letter. Okay, that is what is important there. And now in this case, you have all the testimonials grouped in one section. And when you have the testimonials grouped that way, it is best to bring the testimonials after you have kind of explained the features and the benefits of the book. Okay, of the product. After you explain all the features and benefit of the products, then you can have your testimonials that come right afterwards in support of what you just said. In other words, these testimonials will be saying, yes, I got A, I got B, I got C, I got D. These are the wonderful benefits that I got from this product. Okay, but if you start talking about the product and give the testimonial and then continue to give the details about the product, then the testimonials kind of have less of a punch, because you will have the testimonials saying something that you haven't really explained yet. Okay, the testimony will be speaking about some kind of a benefit that you haven't explained in the letter as yet. Okay, so I'll kind of, in this case, move the testimonials down a little further here to give yourself an opportunity to speak more about the product, a little more about the product. Okay, now here we continue here. Okay, these are now the big benefits of the product. You're cutting your preparation time by 30, 40, or even 50%. That's right. The preparation time from start to just before placing the baking pans into your oven can be cut. Okay, from start to just before placing your baking pans into the oven. Okay, I guess there got to be some easier way of saying this. From start. And again, you had to do with balance of a sentence as well too, because you're saying from one thing to the other. Okay, and this is what you have a lot of as well in poetry. Okay, I'm expecting here from start to finish. So when you read, in other words, then when you have a sentence that is structured like this way, where you have referring from. Okay, it has kind of, 3 blind mice, see how they run. Okay, you see 1, 2, 3, 3 blind mice, 1, 2, 3, see how they run. Okay, if you had three blind mice, see how they are racing. Okay, right away you see the break in the kind of rhythm. And sentences have the same kind of rhythm as well too. So when you read from start to just before placing the thing in the oven, it kind of break the rhythm of the sentence. Okay, So here you're kind of expecting, see, from start to finish. And therefore, when you go from start to just before placing the baking thing in the ovens, you kind of break the rhythm of the sentence. So I would find another way of expressing this, either the entire sentence or find another word, okay, to just before placing the pans in the oven. Okay, take advantage of this, take advantage of tips sprinkled throughout the pages, gain time by time, same thing. Make left hands, okay, when you secure your updated copy, expect it to know. Okay, you're not telling me much about the book here, and I need some more information about the book, okay? And you can best do that in kind of bullet points, which I think comes later in the letter. Okay, but you're kind of selling me too early. You're kind of selling me too early here. You can't go wrong owning this edition. Okay, again, selling me a little bit too early. But why would I need the book? Okay, tell me something about the book. Vegan and diabetes call it to the 79 pages comprising the diet. Okay, when it comes to baking, I see you're seeing and feel what you're feeling. What I see there. Okay, see you're becoming excellent baker sentiment. I'm saying it's confident because I teach well and even. Not enough here is said about the book itself. And it become a little bit erratic in terms of you're going from one idea to the next. Okay, you're telling me something about the benefits I'm going to get from the book, but then you're talking about somebody who is diabetic. You're talking about cutting time, but yet you're not continuing with the same thought of how we can cut down the time I'm going to be using, and therefore the letter becomes a little bumpy at this stage. Okay, let's continue here. How I get things up and going for the start before the excellent baking 17 days. I should miss my teaching non-bakers who teach bake something. I don't want to sound like I'm kettle busy with that, but I'm a perfectionist, so I give detail. I'm ongoing. My class 11 student, each has new edition. I was saying what's happening in this session. Okay, and then you go to the classes now. Now you won't be physically in class. We'll work together via email. Okay, this is talking about another aspect. This is talking about another aspect of the course that you're providing. Again, and it's coming like almost like in the middle here. And maybe this should be like a bonus or something in addition. And all I'm saying here is that you need a section, or the main section of this letter, to telling me about the book, tell me about the benefits I'm going to get from this book, and so detailing, talking about the product itself. Okay, and not enough is said about the product, rather than like you're skipping from one idea to the other idea to another idea. So I need a whole stretch of the letter to be saying, okay, this is the book. On page 45, you're going to learn this. On page 46, you're going to learn this. Not necessarily literally like that, but you need to actually talk about the book itself. Okay, and I'm not getting that in a coherent manner. Okay, your bits and pieces here and there, but not in a coherent manner. Okay, the value of the honor on 6 months. Okay, and that should be, this section should actually be like a bonus. Okay, Banish was washable. Okay, talking about the bonus here. Okay, total value, that should come like a bonus. 6 months support and distance. Okay, the price to get your copy back and price of the copy. Okay, what's it gonna get? Your guarantee. Okay, that's it. Okay, talking about the grant. Let me scroll through here because I'm just looking at the balance of the letter really. Okay, your order page. Oh, the PS is all the way down here. Okay, I have one PS here, which would actually come after the signature. That's it. Okay. Okay, let me go back to the beginning of the letter. Showing you how to make French. Okay, this comes as a bonus. Okay, $75 value. Okay, good question. Okay. Okay, so teaching non-bakers to teaching bakers. Teaching non-bakers to teach baking well is something I do well. Okay, this expression here again is a little awkward as well too. I guess simply because you use well twice. Teaching non-bakers to teach, and you also use teaching twice as well too. Okay. An ongoing example in my class, 11 students, each one a newest edition. Each one has the newest edition. Oh yes, I teach here in France. But okay, this a little here again awkward again. An ongoing example is an ongoing example of what is my class of 11 students. Okay, I don't believe the example is the class of 11 students. Okay, but an example, I guess, an example of the ability to teach could be seen from your class of 11 students that who all have the newest edition of your book. And if you say, oh yes, I teach in France too, okay, that would be in brackets. But I also teach in the privacy. But I can also teach in the privacy of your kitchen through my book. The testimonial prove that, don't they? Okay. There's a lot of things expressed here, but again, it's not clear, and therefore it doesn't really flow. Okay. It doesn't really flow here. Now, you won't be physically in class. We'll be working. You won't be physically in class. We'll be working together via email, fax, telephone. Again, the short sentences. Okay, let me just give an illustration here again. Okay, look at this sentence. Okay, again, remember I mentioned short sentences for action, longer sentences for to slow down the pace. Okay, that's just one thing. But also you want to also change the length of the sentence as well, too. Otherwise, it becomes it becomes it sounds very methodical. Not methodical. It sounds very mechanical. Okay, almost like a pump going to a washing machine. Like listening to a washing machine. And listen here. Okay, you won't be physically in class. We'll be working via email, fax, and telephone, and the result will be great. Thanks to the ease of technology today. Again, the testimonials are proof, aren't they? Okay, could you feel it? You feel the rhythm. You feel the rhythm there. That is very, there's nothing changes. So it's just the same. It's just the same. It's just the same. So you do not want to have all the sentences the same length. You want to intersperse long sentences with short sentences and so forth. Not long sentences like that take up 5-6 lines, because the more complex a sentence is, the more difficult it is to understand as well too. But the whole idea about it is that you do not want all your sentences to be the same length. Okay, let's look at another one. An ongoing example in my class, 11 students. Each one has his own edition. I teach here in France, but I can also teach in the privacy through your book. Okay, you can see all your sentences are almost the same length, and that way it kind of take away the punch from your writing. Okay. Okay, and as I mentioned before as well, to the same way in which you have some bullet points here, talking about the bullet points here talking about the product, you also need some bullet points as well that talk about the benefits of the book itself. This is actually talking about the bonus, and you want some points talking about some bullet points talking about the benefits of your main product as well too. Okay. What's the question? Oh, so how much does my copy cost? You might be asking. Okay, good question. It's a price more in good question. It's a price more in favor. It's a price more in your favor, I must say. Okay, this again is an awkward expression again. But a price like this wasn't easy to figure out to your advantage anyway. Okay, again, an awkward sentence length here. Okay, you kind of chop up a lot of your sentences. I had to do some thinking to arrive at this deal, and so my focus was on two main things: the value of the updated book is 6 months thing, and your benefits. For one thing, your benefit will spice up your kitchen made a big time introducing. Okay, you're justifying the price here to see yourself armed with confidence, preparing the baking, becoming excellent baking. Okay, good here. 397 durable pages covered with blown. Okay, sturdy pages, mahogany stand. Okay, you're kind of a selling here some of the benefits of the book, something that should have been done earlier, and then here at this point you can summarize. Okay, but this is something that should have been done earlier in the letter. Mahogany stand, 100% washable, secure, strong passion, you could say natural. Okay, now look at that number one with total amount. Okay, so you're justifying the price. Okay, good. Giving the total value, summarizing what you're going to get. Okay, and the price to get your the price for your copy, including shipping and handling by FedEx front door, is okay, $397. Okay, you guarantee. I guarantee security and return policy. I guarantee that you'll enjoy finding something for 17, much more. Folks will be entertained with your baking because it will be okay. Again, here, be careful of your sentences, and you'll be happy knowing how you can bake a skill. I know because I've put all into that book and make it a success. It's to be the signature. Look at the appearance and see. Period. Use smell and give them concentrate. Okay, a very good use of the guarantee in terms that you're using the guarantee not just to say that if you don't like this thing you can get it back, but that you're also using the guarantee in order to sell as well too, which is a very good use of the guarantee. Okay, but my attention to detail doesn't stop there with the privacy policy, guarantee, or return policy. Okay, a very good use of the guarantee. Okay, a very good use of the guarantee here because you're using it to sell. You're not just gonna say, well, if you don't like this product, you can send it back. No, you're actually selling the product in the guarantee itself. Okay, so I'll say that very good. I can't imagine how my life would have turned out if I didn't take check on developing, take check, awkward expression here, take check in developing that area of my feminine side. And what if some folks didn't tip me off about what my family possibly. Okay, now here you're referring to the feminine side, and I don't know if you're targeting just women alone, but I guess, men bake as well too. So you might want to not only just mention that this book is for women, but that's also that, it's for men as well too. And what if some folks didn't tip me off about what my family and possibly others thought of me? I might have bothered. Now you might not want to be a professional chef, but you're looking for an excellent baking book to keep handy for wrapping up something quickly during the emergencies. Some coaching to 6 months forward. Fresh recipes including these sprays. Okay, click here to get started. Okay, here, triple your security order now. Wow, the taste buds matter. Please remember, okay, your order form, your introduction and your action showing how to prepare, what to author in, make, okay, clear. How order payment about, okay, that's the order form, that's clear. You might be asked at this time to do a baking, but that's not good thing. 17 days, no. Don't worry, you'll grasp quickly. Choose over 250. Secure your 6 months simple elastic. Secure your 6 months simple step-by-step course and the 17 with us. Okay, I'm not sure how this comes in here. It's kind of misplaced, and but here's a good thing now. In 17 days after you get your copy of manuscript, quickly lend me a hand with this one. No, you'll be able to whip out 100%. Don't worry, you'll grasp quickly. Simple illustrations. It's almost here. It's almost going over the sales letter again, but not in real summary form. Not in real summary form here, and it making things a little bit more complex, I think, than it should be. Relax, take up to 60 days to try the crusty. Okay, because you're going over a guarantee again. So this almost seems like a whole separate letter by itself. Okay, letter by itself. Okay, so in summary, therefore, then I would say that the letter is a good attempt. I would be careful about the fonts, as I mentioned before, the different size and colors of font that you're using. I'll also be careful about the length of your sentences and your language. You want to make your language flow as much as possible. You also want to think about the structure of the letter, which here it is fair in the sense that you start out with a story. You start out with a big benefit. You start out with a story, and you also, talk about the product. And here to add some credibility to the person who is producing this product, you might want to mention things like, the newspapers that they are being published in, if they are being on television, especially if this chef is unknown. You want to, as much as possible, kind of build the credibility for the person. So have they been on television? Have they been published? How many other books have they written? Okay, these are things that you want to mention. Also, spend some more time talking about the book. You have to spend time talking about the book because that's the main product that the person is buying. So talk about how convenient the recipe book is. Are there pictures? Are there illustrations? Are there clear directions? What about the pages? Is it something that you can easily take into the kitchen? Is it something that you can use while you are baking? And so forth. Okay, so you need to spend some time talking about, talking about that as well. Okay, but a great start, but of course some room for improvement.